issues with Obama, like on his bullshit, but not saying he's gay or transsexual. That's just not me.
I think that's how Alyssa talks, just in her defense.
He knows who I am. He's just coming out on the other side, revealing who he really is. And he played a different part. He played a different character when he came on.
What different character? I'm the same guy. I call everybody a faggot till this day. Faggots, faggots, faggots.
You were pretty different when I met you 5 years ago. And
What
different
changed?
stance, political.
What changed? Why also focus on
I don't want to change the subject.
Okay, so let's do this. We're gonna stop this.
Oh,
Not on my stage. Guys can go have the backroom chat. I don't know, Ludwig. Maybe you forgot to bring home the groceries. Alyssa, maybe you just, I don't know, forgot to remember his birthday or fishing trip. I don't fucking know. But whatever the love quarrel is, go have it in another room, come back, and, you know.
I would rather slam my dick in between a door.
Yeah, well, to each their own. But I don't want to have this kind of, like, crap on here, and I get bored with that stuff really easy. But let's go back to this Epstein thing. Is this what everybody wants to talk about? Because no one really wants to come on stage and really kind of add teeth to it. No one wants to have that deep dive discussion. So is that a negative, or, you know, just, you know, you can say you're concerned about pedophiles. You can say you're concerned about the kids. You can say a lot of things, but I'm just asking you to come up and offer your point of view, and I'll make sure everybody gets to hear it. Welcome, Durrett.
Hey, Brad. How's everyone?
Good.
So this is just my wild supposition about how Trump did a 180 live in front of the press a few weeks ago about this issue, in the sense that he was promising it was going to be released, and so was his attorney general, and then when he was in front of the press, he tried to downplay it and redirect and all that, and then it became the big Democratic sticking point in the media for the next few weeks. And my wild supposition is this: they actually saw the meat of what was in there, and they realized that if this all truly saw the light of day in the fullest sense, that both parties are implicated, and it is such an existential threat to the existing order and all of the powers that be, that no Democrat or Republican would be ever elected again. And he was basically told that if you release this, our entire system will come down because they're all implicated. So I think he then had a choice. He could either do the misdirection and "are you still talking about that loser" kind of thing that Trump did in front of the press, or he could say, listen, it's a national security issue and we've made another decision not to release this information.
You mean the list?
The full meat of the list, and so I think he tried to do his little Trump shtick, and it sort of backfired at him for a couple weeks, but the public have short memories. The people will move on, and that's why I think they didn't release it.
All right, welcome, First Lady, and thanks, Joyce. I do have a question, though. Here's my view. And for all those that don't know, First Lady does run the political correctness room. I encourage you to go in there. I'm going to give this caveat. It is not always political or the discussions. Sometimes it's just mind-numbingly you're banging your head against the wall. But she does try to keep it on point. She's probably one of the best mods in there next to Patty. So these two ladies, when they're teamed up together and they have a point they want to attack, it's going to be on that point. Everybody else, I would just take with a grain of salt. But listen to what these two ladies say. As far as your view on this, I look at it in the market sense. We are aware that Epstein played around in the markets significantly, particularly Wall Street and particularly in foreign, like the Houston exchanges, the Japanese, the Asian markets. He was all over the place. We're aware that he miraculously somehow put together billions of dollars, but no one knows necessarily where all those funds came from, how those sources are. So he had to make it up in where would be Wall Street's. My feeling is on the Epstein list is something akin to what you're hitting on. I think what we would see, it would be a huge financial collapse. Like, I think what we'd honestly find is that there's more money out there, probably hidden in accounts in Cayman or the Bermuda account papers and things along those lines. We'd find more of those. I think releasing this is an iceberg like that sunk the Titanic. And I think a lot of these hedge funders and financiers are sweating the most, and that's who's backing, like the Clintons. They get Clinton went to the island, he enjoyed having sex with underage kids. We're aware of that. Trump, so far there hasn't been any indication. He's visited the island, he's been on the plane, maybe not. I'm not saying that they didn't happen, it may have. Dershowitz, he visited the island, he was a lawyer, so yeah, maybe there's some connection there. That should be concerning. The Prince Andrew of fucking England, you know, we always knew about those like weak English princes, but you know, that's concerning as well. So, but I'm more concerned about the finance markets and the epic collapse it could unfold. Could you imagine Bank of America, Chase, Capital One, like all of those markets would just like gone right away without the leadership because those guys have been flown around. Could you imagine that?
Brad, you know, 2 days before this filth, Epstein got suicided, like I like to say it. You know, it is like magically while he was locked up, like a trust was being put up, and to that trust, like 577 million was deposited. Right? How's it even fucking possible? Is it that possible in the United States? While you're like locked up, you can put a trust up and deposit money. Not like $20 or something. $577 million.
Yeah,
that is just. I mean.
So I'll say this: like, the Epsteins of the world, they don't circulate with people like me or you or where is she? Even the most elegant first lady. We're not those people. We're not even on their list. You could think you're all that in a bag of chips. First lady's very attractive. Joe B's attractive. She may think she's prominent. She's not. She's not Epstein level prominence. We don't run in those circles. That circle is really small, really tight, and it's really finessed. And there's usually two factions, a little bit for the cameras and for the public, but generally it's all one circle underneath, and it's literally that 1% of the world. Trump, Epstein, they radiated around that. They ran in those fields. They're with them with the Buffett and the Soros and the Bill Gates and et cetera. Give me the other ones. The princes from whatever Nigeria that only needs $500 million or whatever needs $500 to reach $500 million, and you'll get your gems and your stones. Like all of that shit. These guys don't operate around us. We're their market. We're their cash. They're looking at us as like, how do I get their money into my pocket? How do I do that? And they are looking at us that way. We're their cattle, so to speak. We fight their wars. We build their skyscrapers. We build their homes. We build the highways. We give them water. We fix their food. We clean their apartments or homes. We make their cars. We do all that. They don't. All they do is fund us with money, and we partake in that society, and then they try to figure out a way to get that money back. These guys don't fucking operate normally, and it's so small. I would expect, like in Epstein and Clinton's, they all run, and those politicians, those are all just parasites on them. These guys are all the shakers and movers in the world, to be fair. I'm not throwing any conspiracy out there. They just are. Go ahead.
I'm chomping at the bits to give two famous people quotes to illustrate your point that you just made. George Carlin, "It's a small club and you ain't in it." And then Dave Chappelle to an audience, "Y'all just think you're white people, but you don't actually meet the real white people until you make $100 million."
Wait, is even in that circle 100 million a lot of money?
I mean, it was a joke.
I'm not
you get
thinking
the point. Yeah.
I get what you're saying. it's too weird, man. Like if they can't release that list, right, it gotta be really fucked up. Right? Like even the house of Epstein, right? $80 million mansion, the most expensive house in, at least in the upper north of New York, that he got for $1. You know, then you got our dear friend from J.P. Morgan that wired him, I believe it was $150 million. Like, what the fuck do you know that somebody's like, okay, here comes the money?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand.
That is some. It's got to be super fucking dark, man. Darker than hell, if you ask me. If somebody's like, yeah, I'm gonna send you this money, right? And we're not talking about $50 or $100. I think it was $150 million. By the way, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Jean-Marie Luc, was locked up in France, arrested, suicided in the same way as Epstein. I don't know if anybody knew this, but it's got to be really messed up. That's where I'm at. But whatever the fuck that means.
I hear you on it, and I don't discount the facts. Like, I mean, there is some. I firmly believe Epstein was killed. I don't buy it. But I want to get First Lady in here because she's just sitting here quietly, acting all cute and stuff. First Lady, what do you think about this? Where do you think this is going to eventually end up?
No, Vic, don't laugh at him. He's crazy.
I know. He can't afford his medication anymore.
I can't afford my medication. What are you talking about?
Fuck you, Brad.
No, you know, Brad, I really and truly, I don't know. I just feel like, you know, I was listening to some of the ladies today and, you know, to hear they started when they were 14 and now they're this age. You know, I'm glad that they are getting the reprieve that they need. I'm just really afraid of what might come out. I don't know. I don't know. I just wish that maybe they could just pay the women. Like, did they ever get any payment from this, or like, is there a way to compensate them? I don't know. I don't. It's scary. It can go really bad. That's what I think. And you know me, I'm always trying to avoid conflict. So whatever leads us to peace is where I would like for us to be. I don't know that this is going to be that. I just wish they would never open this mess up. And what is the conversation about when they say Biden didn't do this and so on? I don't know, because I never really thought that it would ever come out, to be honest with you. So now that we're here and it's getting closer and closer and people keep pushing, I feel like they're just going to open up a can of worms that can't be closed.
I agree with you. I think the more people that push this narrative and push, you know, what you're not going to like this, and for the people on the left, and I know, lady, like primarily your room runs on the left, they should be very cautious about their Trump's the pedo, because it could come out. Trump may have like screwed an underage girl. It could have. He didn't do it in Epstein Island because he ain't been there. Like, at least that's so far. We learned that from the Maxwell files. We learned that later on, allegedly, or at least documented and under deposition and all these things. And Maxwell said under oath, in order to be transferred, and all of these things that she has in motion to be kept alive, she said that Trump's not partook in any of those events, and that wasn't at Epstein Island. So if Trump's not been there, and he's only been on the plane a couple of times, there's a possibility he could have done something. Probably, maybe, I don't know. But I'm saying there's a lot more likely when you have like Michael Jackson's name up in there, when you have Bill Clinton's name, and you have, you know, the Juanita Broderick story that still won't go away because she still didn't get satisfaction. That's coming out. So I'm saying that Democrats should really be kind of like stopping the ants, because that's going to affect a lot of their donor base. Like Schiff's name's up in there, that circle. Like he was brought up in there. A lot of Californians, it's in the Pelosi, she's going to be thrown in there. probably her husband. That name's going to probably drop. I mean, these are players. Like, that market's going to swirl around it, and that's going to be their lasting legacy. And the more you hope for it, which I'm all for, let's see it, but I mean, you may not like the results. That rubber band has a way of springing back on you.
But I mean, you're saying the Democrats, but the Republicans are the one that's pushing for it. Marjorie, she was right up front. Today, she was right at the press conference. She was smiling and everything. She had a cute little outfit on. So the Republicans are pushing just as hard as the Dems are pushing for this.
Yeah, MAGA's been pushing for this for a while because they believe it pretty much destroys the DNC, which I would say it is an agreement. Like, even the photos with Trump and Epstein, you look at the dates, yeah, he's going to be around Epstein because, again, those were donor events, donor organizations, donor parties. You see a whole lot of people there that are donating money for the DNC. Those are fundraising dinners. So, yes, Trump's going to be in the vicinity of Epstein, and because those were donor lists. But what I'm saying is, like, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I really wish we could get rid of the AOCs and MGTs. Or MTGs, I don't know, whatever, butch bad built bodies they have. I wish we could just get past them and actually just prosecute who we need to. But Marjorie Taylor Greene's going to have a point. She's going to be cleaning this. She can go out front, and she represents a good, significant portion of MAGA, and she's going to go to the two because they want it. They want it. That's who really wants it, not the whole Republican list, because they also know there's a lot of financiers that they have to go to for money, and that's going to hurt. That's going to really hurt.
Did you listen to Marjorie Taylor Greene last week on the Megyn Kelly show? It was either last week or the week before.
No, I'm sorry. You'll have to give it to us. I'll listen to it now if you have it, or if you just want to recap it.